This is the dark truth about narcissistic men's friendships, homosocial. Narcissistic men live in an entirely different emotional universe than most people assume. Their hearts, if we can call them that, do not orbit around women. Their true emotional gravity pulls toward other men. That's where their loyalty is anchored. That's who they want to impress. That's the audience they perform for. Women might get their bodies, their demands, and, above all, their control. But men get their soul. They will sleep with women, marry them, father children with them, and even build an outward life together. Yet behind that facade, there's a gaping absence. No real connection, no emotional openness, no genuine vulnerability. The kind of intimacy women hope to share with them is reserved for their male circle, the group whose approval, admiration, and validation actually matter to them. I know it sounds provocative, even controversial, but by the end of this, you'll see how disturbingly logical it is. I'm Dan, a narcissistic abuse recovery professional, and in this episode, I'm pulling back the curtain on why narcissistic men operate this way, and how it slowly erodes the spirit of the woman they claim to love. What you're dealing with is not simply a partner who's emotionally cold. You're dealing with someone who can switch on selective warmth and charm when it serves their image, especially in spaces filled with men whose attention they crave. Watch them in a male-dominated room. Their voice grows louder, their energy turns electric, their charisma suddenly becomes convincing. Their whole being seems animated, almost magnetic. But the moment they walk back into your space, it's like the life drains out of them. They go flat, cold, distant. You're left staring at the shell of the man you just saw come alive moments earlier, wondering where that vibrant version went. The truth is painful. They never intended to be that person with you. Narcissistic men often lack a grounded sense of sexual identity because they lack a grounded sense of self. Their sexuality is fluid only in the sense that it bends toward whatever bolsters their image, performance, or power. They might lust after women's bodies, but their emotional fixation, the place they truly light up, remains tethered to other men. Physically reactive to women, yes, but emotionally bound to men. This leaves the women in their lives feeling perpetually confused, unseen, and emotionally starved. You try harder, love deeper, reshape yourself, speak softer, fix what you think might be wrong. Yet the connection never grows roots. No matter how much you give, you remain on the outside looking in, reaching for a man who only reveals his emotional core when another man enters the room. That is not your failure, it's his design. These men are wired this way, not by accident, but by choice and habit. To them, women serve a function, a role, a purpose in the script they're performing. And nothing you do will change the fact that you are never cast in the part where you get his soul. You might be his wife, his caretaker, the mother of his children, or the pretty accessory he proudly displays in public, but you are never his main audience. The laughter, the vivid storytelling, the raw excitement he's capable of showing, none of it is for you. Those moments are reserved exclusively for the men whose attention he truly craves. You don't get his softness, his openness, or his emotional spark, because you are not the person who stays that in him. Your love never truly lands. Your affection never wakes anything alive inside him. No matter how much you give, you remain invisible, because your presence was never meant to be cherished. It was meant to complete the image he wants the world to see. You weren't adored for who you are. You were selected for the status you represent. To him, your beauty is not something sacred, it's strategic. Your loyalty isn't a treasure, it's an expectation. You are a badge, a signal to other men that he is desirable, powerful, and worthy of envy. In his mind, you exist as an extension of his ego, a perfectly polished ornament that reflects back the image he wants to broadcast. And while this might sound like it ties to sexual preference, it goes much deeper. I've said this in other conversations. Narcissistic men can be whatever they need to be to get what they want. Straight, gay, or anywhere in between. Their true emotional allegiance always tilts toward men, not women. Even when they present as heterosexual, their inner loyalty is psychologically wired to the male gaze. Think about it. He wanted you to look stunning next to him, but never to outshine him. Certainly never to challenge him. The moment your light grows too bright, he starts to shrink. Instead of reflecting on his own inadequacy, he retaliates. He belittles you, mocks you, and labels you as too emotional, too loud, or simply too much. Yet, watch what happens when another man with more influence, presence, or charisma walks in. Suddenly, he straightens up. His tone sharpens. His energy comes alive. He orbits that man as though caught in his gravitational pull. He borrows his mannerisms, echoes his opinions, and works hard to be seen and acknowledged by him. You can witness this same pattern online. A dominant alpha leading, while the rest position themselves as betas, adopting the same beliefs and language. It's not true camaraderie. It's a hierarchy built on emotional dependence. They may not be sexually involved with one another, but psychologically, they are deeply entangled. Their loyalty is to each other, and their collective disdain for women runs deep. He feeds off the energy of these men in the same way he drains yours, but with one glaring difference. Those men never have to fight for his connection. He offers it to them freely. He opens up. He shines. You're left standing in the ruins of a relationship that was never truly built for you. That's the bitter truth beneath all of this. With you, he is emotionally distant, withholding affection as if it were a scarce resource. With them, his male companions, he comes alive, open, animated, expressive, and magnetic. You can't help but notice the sharp contrast. Around you, he moves as if weighed down by obligation. Around them, he moves like a man unchained. And slowly, the realization starts to creep in. Maybe you were never his real partner at all. Maybe you were just the background scenery for the performance he puts on for his male audience, his inner circle of bros whose approval he craves far more than your love. This is why so many women in relationships with narcissistic men feel a hollow ache at their core, or begin to question if their husband is even straight. But it's rarely about sexual orientation. It's about emotional loyalty. It's about being used, not for the person you are, but for the image you represent. He wanted the prestige of being partnered, the optics of stability, the social benefits of marriage, but never the true intimacy. He never wanted the responsibility of being emotionally present as a husband or nurturing as a father. He does not seek to be held by a woman's heart. He seeks to be envied by men. Your feelings, no matter how raw, slip right past him without impact. Yet a single nod from another man lodges deep in his nervous system, replayed and savored like a trophy. Even in your most painful arguments, he isn't seeking resolution. He's scripting his next anecdote for his friends, turning private wounds into public performance. He needs their approval more than he has ever needed your forgiveness. You could be breaking down in front of him, but his mind would be on how the scene plays to his male audience. He withholds himself from you because, in his mind, women are not safe keepers of truth. They are workers, emotional cleaners, and utilities. And when you stop cleaning up his mess, when you demand to be seen and heard, his warmth dies instantly because he never intended to give you that part of him. When he praises another man, it's genuine admiration. When he praises you, it's deliberate calculation. His laughter with men is effortless and unguarded. With you, it's scripted and performative. He respects their strength while mocking yours, and you're always being measured against them, never in your favor. Sometimes he isn't even consciously aware of this pattern, because it's the generational conditioning of toxic masculinity. But unconscious or not, it's real. And it's abusive. He moved through life desperate for male eyes on him. The gaze of other men is the oxygen that fills his lungs. If they admire him, he thrives. If they don't, he withers. Your admiration, that's simply expected, a baseline he doesn't even value. And that's why, no matter how fiercely you love him, you always end up feeling starved, because you are pouring all that love into a container that was never built with an opening for you. He does not want your intimacy. He wants your obedience, your compliance, your submission. He does not want a relationship. He wants a stage. What he really wanted was a mirror, a human prop, a decorative backdrop, something to enhance his shine where it mattered most. in front of the men whose approval he lives for. And when that truth finally hits you, it cuts deep. Because you weren't asking for extravagance or the impossible. You were asking for connection. But instead, you watch him pour all that connection, energy, and enthusiasm into his male companions, giving them everything you had been yearning for. That's when it becomes clear. He is capable of intimacy. He just chose to withhold it from you. In his mind, you are undeserving, a weakling, a fool for making yourself emotionally available. It's parasitic, it's predatory, and it's cruel. The reason I say you were a prop is because he was never engaging with you in full humanity. He was using you as a visual accessory, someone to stand beside him while he reached, not for you, but for someone else's gaze. He was locked in an unspoken competition with these men, his body angled toward them even as he kept one possessive hand on your shoulder. You were never his true audience. They were. Have you ever noticed it? That sideways posture, half with you, but always performing for someone else. The men are his oxygen, his pulse, his reason to stand tall. And you, without realizing it, were working the spotlight for his one-man performance, making sure he looked impressive while he basked in their admiration. That is the wound women carry after loving a narcissistic man like this. The soul-crushing realization that you were never really in the room with him. You were part of the stage set, not the story. It's a gut punch to see it so clearly, to know the relationship you thought was shared was actually a theater production that was never meant for you. But awareness is power, and the truth is what will finally set you free. This is painful, yes, but once you see it for what it is, you can step away from being his mirror and reclaim your own reflection.